Hey guys, how's everybody doing? I am popping on here to give you some information on the national real estate market update for 9/25/2023. And there's some interesting data out there. Um, I don't know if any of you out there are experiencing this, but in some parts of the country, return to work policies are motivating up to 10% of sellers to move. Um, this is definitely very location specific. But as an example, some people who moved from California to Idaho during the COVID-19 pandemic, they are actually moving back to California. That was pretty interesting to me. Um, According to NAR, the National Association of Realtors, the affordability index is at an all-time record low. I'm sure that doesn't surprise anyone. Um, Historically, first-time homebuyers represented up to 40% of the market, but since we are at this all-time record low affordability, we are only at 30%. So that's really putting a squeeze on the first-time homebuyers. Um, Many states and local municipalities are jumping in to come up with programs. So that's awesome. And that's also very location specific. Here are some random facts too. And this boggles my mind. 25% of recent sales were made with all cash. This is again national. Huge. That's a huge number. And there's only a quarter of the inventory available today compared to 2007 because a lot of people uh, try to compare today to the 2007 crash and say the sky is falling again in the same way. But as you can see, a key factor preventing the home price crash is there's only a quarter of the inventory available today compared to 2007. So um, there's an interesting fact. Inventory tends to decrease after Thanksgiving. And the reason for that is a lot of real estate agents, even agents that I know, they give sellers advice and buyers advice that it's not a good time to buy, not a good time to sell, which is not true. Um, you have to keep an eye on your local market. And in my case, I've found that I've been able to actually find people, buyers that have been looking for a long time, properties during the holidays because they're really serious and they don't have that much competition. Um, but as you can see here, uh, the reason that inventory tends to decrease after Thanksgiving, combination of bad advice, which we just talked about, and reluctance to schedule showings on the seller's part, um, because it's the holidays. So um, and that's a case of motivation. If you're really motivated to sell your house and there's a good reason for you to sell, uh, definitely you want to allow people to schedule showings. Um, Low inventory in certain markets attributed to regulations. I think a lot of you investors and people who have done work around the house. I mean, I know tons of people did uh, some renovations in their properties during the COVID-19 pandemic and around that pandemic. Um, and you could probably attest to this. Uh, the reason that there's low inventory in certain markets is because regulations make it harder to build, resulting in significantly higher home prices. Um, I mean, I totally get, for health and safety reasons, why it's a challenge to get permits to build, but um, I find that sometimes it's overly ridiculous. So, and they're really not helping anyone. They're hurting the home buyer because all it does is make home prices go higher. So, just wanted to reach out to you guys and give you all these updates. Interest rates. They were lower interest rates. If interest rates were lower, I think everyone intuitively knows this, but it just bears repeating. If interest rates were lower, we could expect to see an increase in home prices. So be careful what you wish for. um, Despite 2.5 million fewer homes sold this year, home prices have risen, which also makes sense, supply and demand. And here's the last little tidbit. The duration of the decline in home sales is approaching 40 months, which is in line with the historical trend of around 60 months, which indicates that the market may, and I emphasize may, be two-thirds of the way through this cycle. Uh, none of us, I mean, none of us know what the future holds, and I wouldn't venture to guess what the future holds. But that was just an interesting statistic that I just want to throw out there. So, as always, if you guys have any questions about your property in your area, feel free to reach out to us. I will put our information down below. Thanks a lot for watching, guys.